in the heart of a bustling city, where towering skyscrapers cast shadows over narrow alleys. A small group of stray dogs made their home. Among them was Rusty, a golden-furred dog with a limp from a long-forgotten injury. His pack, including a shy pup named Lily, and an elderly dog called Max, lived in the shadows, scavenging for food and surviving the chaos of city life. For as long as anyone could remember, these strays were part of the landscape. They were harmless, often seen wagging their tails at passing strangers, hoping for a scrap of food or a moment of kindness. But not everyone viewed them this way. To some, they were nuisances, pests that didn't belong in the pristine city. One morning, the pack woke to find strange men in the streets. These men carried long poles, and their faces were hard with determination. News had spread that the city council had approved a campaign to clean the streets of strays, under pressure from those who saw them as little more than dirty scavengers. The method they chose was brutal: catch them, and if homes couldn't be found, they were disposed of. Rusty sensed danger immediately. He'd seen friends disappear before. They were caught by animal control, never to be seen again. Panic spread through the pack as the men got closer. Max, being older and slower, was an easy target, and with a swift motion, they caught him in one of their poles. His weak bark echoed as they dragged him away. Lily, terrified, dashed into the shadows, hiding under a pile of broken crates. Rusty, determined to protect what little family he had left, led the remaining dogs deeper into the labyrinth of alleyways. Meanwhile, not far from where this was unfolding, a young woman named Maria watched from her apartment window. Maria was an animal lover, who often left food out for the strays, seeing in them the same vulnerability she felt at times in the world. She had heard about the city's decision to remove the dogs, but never imagined it would be done so heartlessly. Unable to stand by, she rushed to the scene.
"Stop!"
she yelled, her voice cracking with emotion. The men glanced at her but continued their work. Maria stood in front of them, blocking their path.
"These dogs aren't causing any harm. You can't just take them like this."
One of the men, clearly frustrated, replied,
"We're just following orders. It's for the city's cleanliness and safety."
"But at what cost?"
Maria shot back.
"There are humane ways to deal with this. Spaying, neutering, finding homes. This isn't right."
Her words stirred something in the gathering crowd. People who had once ignored the strays began to see them through Maria's eyes, as beings deserving of kindness. Voices of support started to rise, and soon, the men were surrounded by a small but determined group of animal lovers. Realizing they were outnumbered, the men retreated for the time being, promising they'd be back. But Maria wasn't deterred. That night, she and a few volunteers set up a temporary shelter for the dogs. Rusty and his pack, though wary, were lured in by the warmth and food they were offered. Rusty, Lily, and Max, who had been found and brought back by Maria, no longer had to live in fear. They had found a home with Maria, who had grown particularly fond of Rusty. Despite his limp, the city, once indifferent to the lives of its strays, began to change. Slowly but surely, kindness took root where cruelty once flourished. And the forgotten streets. They were still home to a few strays, but now, they walked with their heads held high, knowing that someone was watching out for them. The story emphasizes the importance of compassion, empathy, and responsibility toward all living beings, especially those who are vulnerable and voiceless, like stray animals. It teaches that every life, no matter how small or overlooked, deserves kindness and respect. The story also highlights the power of community action and standing up against injustice, showing that positive change is possible when people come together with empathy and care. Recently, the government of Turkey has announced plans to remove stray dogs from the streets, sparking concern among animal lovers and advocates. While the decision aims to improve public safety, it also raises the urgent need for compassionate solutions. Instead of removal through inhumane methods, we believe in providing loving homes for these dogs. If you're in Turkey, consider adopting a stray or donating to local animal rescue organizations working tirelessly to save lives. Adopting a dog doesn't just save a life, it brings joy, loyalty, and unconditional love into your home. Together, we can make a difference for the stray dogs of Turkey or whichever country you're living.